I never told my son about my $40,000 monthly salary, even though he always saw me living a simple life. One day, he invited me to dinner with his wife's parents, who were visiting from abroad. I decided to see how they would treat a poor person by pretending to be a broke and naive mother. But the moment I stepped through the door of that restaurant, everything changed. What happened that night devastated my daughter in law and her family in a way they never imagined. And trust me, they deserved it. Let me explain how I got there. Let me tell you who I really am. Because my son Ethan, at 35 years old, never knew the truth about his mother. To him, I was always just the woman who left early for the office, who came back tired in the evenings, who cooked with whatever was in the fridge. Just another employee, maybe a secretary, someone ordinary, nothing special. And I never corrected him. I never told him that I earned $40,000 every month, that I had been a senior executive at a multinational corporation for almost 20 years, signing million-dollar contracts and making decisions that affected thousands of people. Why tell him? Money was never something I needed to hang on the wall like a trophy. I grew up in an era where dignity was carried within, where silence was worth more than hollow words. So I guarded my truth. I lived in the same modest apartment for years. I used the same leather handbag until it was worn out. I bought clothes at discount chains, cooked at home, saved everything, invested everything, and became rich in silence. Because true power doesn't shout, true power observes. And I was observing closely when Ethan called me that Tuesday afternoon. His voice sounded different, nervous, like when he was a kid and had done something wrong. Mom, I need to ask you a favor. My stomach tightened. My wife Lena's parents are visiting from overseas. It's their first time here. They want to meet you. We're having dinner on Saturday at a restaurant. Please come. Something in his tone made me uncomfortable. It wasn't the voice of a son inviting his mother. It was the voice of someone asking not to be embarrassed. Do they know anything about me? I asked calmly. Silence. Then Ethan stammered, I told them you work in an office, that you live alone, that you're simple, that you don't have much. As if my entire life could be reduced to that word. I took a deep breath. Okay, Ethan, I'll be there. I hung up and looked around my living room. Old but comfortable furniture, plain walls, nothing flashy. And at that moment, I made a decision. If my son thought I was poor, if his wife's parents were ready to judge, then I would give them exactly what they expected. I would pretend to be broke, naive, and desperate, a woman barely surviving. I wanted to see their real faces.
Saturday arrived. I dressed in the worst outfit I owned. A wrinkled gray dress, worn out shoes, no jewelry, no watch. I grabbed a faded canvas tote bag, tied my hair into a messy ponytail, and looked at myself in the mirror. I looked invisible, perfect. The taxi stopped in front of a luxury restaurant. Warm lights, white gloved doorman, people dressed like royalty. Inside, I saw them. Ethan looked anxious. Lena looked embarrassed. And there were her parents. Her mother, Margaret, dripping in jewelry, emerald dress, cold eyes. Her father, Richard, gray suit, expensive watch, arrogant posture. Margaret scanned me from head to toe. Judgment, disappointment, disdain. She offered a weak handshake. So nice to meet you. I was seated at the far end of the table, like an afterthought. No one pulled my chair. No one asked if I was comfortable. The menu arrived. Margaret smirked. Do you need help? These can be confusing. Yes, please, I whispered. She ordered something simple for me. Nothing too expensive. Then came the bragging. Hotel prices, luxury cars, properties in multiple countries. And you? Margaret asked sweetly. What do you do? I work in an office, I said softly. Paperwork? Simple things. Her pity was visible. Later she said, we always gave Lena the best. Best schools, best travel. And of course we helped them financially. She looked straight at me. And you? Were you able to help Ethan? Not much, I replied. I gave what I could. How sweet, she smiled. Then came the final blow. We were thinking, Margaret said, perhaps we could give you a small monthly allowance, so Ethan won't feel burdened. She wanted to pay me to disappear. How much? I asked calmly. Maybe $700, she said. I nodded. And how much did you give for the house? $40,000. The honeymoon? $15,000. So $55,000 for them and $700 to erase me. Silence. Then I straightened my back. No more pretending. You see, I said calmly, you spent the whole night talking about money, but you never asked how I am. Their faces drained of color. 40 years ago, I continued, I was a single mother, abandoned, broke, alone. Ethan stared at me. I worked 12 hours a day, studied at night, raised my son alone. I didn't inherit wealth. I built it. I looked directly at Margaret. And today I earn $40,000 every month. Gasps. Richard dropped his fork. Lena froze. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. I came here dressed like this, I finished, to see who you really are. I stood up. And now I know. I paid the bill, the entire bill, and walked out without looking back. Because some people learn respect only when the illusion breaks. And that night, their illusion shattered completely.